bottom of funnel users are actually the proof of business case that engineers and product managers work so long hours to build those features and they're using it. They are also a product market fit, right? They are the one who has adopted most of the product features. They're loyal. So all you can do is just to learn more from them.
Have you ever heard of a retention growth marketer? Hello and welcome to Mobile Heroes Uncensored. My name is John Koetsier. My co-host, of course, as always, is Peggy and Salz. If you're American and you like sports, you know, something big might have just happened. I don't know, like Super Bowl 56 or something like that. And that means a ton of betting. Well, today we're chatting with a marketer for one of the top fantasy sports and sports betting apps, and she's a retention first growth marketer. Peggy, who are we chatting with?
Yeah, John, that is it. She insists on calling herself a retention first growth marketer. We're going to find out what that is. We're talking to Miray Alanlar. She is Senior Product Marketing Manager at FoxBet and PokerStars. Really well known app. She herself also well known, highly driven is what they say, full stack product marketing mobile growth leader with 7+ years of mobile product experience. And she's here with us today. Welcome, Miray.
Thank you so much, Peggy and John, for the lovely intro. But can I just say this is a dream come true moment for any mobile marketer to be in this room with two of my heroes. So it is a pleasure to be here.
Whoa.
I'm so excited
Wow.
to be here.
Make that
We are
transfer,
excited too.
John. The Bitcoin is on the way, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. The $100 will slip that to you later. No, don't tell anybody. But you are in LA right now, and LA is the center of the sports world. I mean, there might be something Olympic-ish going on somewhere in, I don't know, China or something like that. But it's Super Bowl weekend. Let's start with football. Has this not been the most insane playoffs ever?
Oh, yeah, John. It has been the most exciting 18 weeks of NFL ever. And this is actually my first year at the company, observing the biggest event of the year in LA. I'm from LA. The team I support is actually on finals. So they are playing for the first time ever. And it's our home. It's just, so exciting. And it is the showtime for Rams. Go Rams. And LA is that showtime basically. So it's pretty exciting. And on a personal level, sports has been in my DNA. I love competition, and I played volleyball for Turkish national team. And my father used to work as a sports camp director, where we had athletes from all over the world practicing sports. So I was immersed into the world of sports in an early age, and coming from Europe, where soccer is also a popular choice. American football has always excited us growing up. So now here I am working at the largest online real money gaming operator on a mission to give sports fans the chance to win every day. And it's just amazing, right? And I'm, so excited to be observing this moment in LA. So
Very,
Amazing,
very cool.
amazing. So, I mean, Peggy, if we were next to her, I'm guessing we'd be midgets. She's a volleyball player. She's probably like
Yeah.
6 feet, 7 feet tall or something like that, unless she's a setter. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I have to set the context because we have an international audience. So we have people in Europe, we have people in India, Africa, Asia. And so the Super Bowl is football, American football. It's not that round thing that bounces on the ground, on the pitch, right? And the playoffs have been out of this world. They've been exciting games. They've been decided in the last minute on the very last play. There's been amazing quarterbacking. It's really been a grade A playoffs for the NFL. Maybe before I turn it over to Peggy for a bit here, how has betting been in the last few weeks?
Oh, that's a great question, John. And I think I've been reading a couple articles as well. And I think American Gaming Association has predicted 70% increase in betting activity across legal betting platforms in legal betting states. So it's a 70% increase compared to last year. And I think they're also estimating total of 32 million Americans will just bet on Super Bowl. So it is insane. There's also like new states that are opened up for legal betting and legal platforms. So it's just insane. I think the amount of activity across different sportsbook verticals is just, pretty up in the sky.
Wow.
You've also got me really excited about my heritage because I'm from Pittsburgh. So Stillers is what I grew up with. And that's what makes up my universe. A lot going on out there, as you said. Now they bet, but they do that for the Super Bowl or for some other events. But you say you are a retention growth marketer. What is that exactly?
Yeah, I think retention growth marketer is a new concept that I learned throughout my career. So I never started, oh, I want to be a retention marketer, because we're still in the early days of mobile, right? It's very changing space. So it's actually appealed to me during the early days of, again, like mobile back in 2013. I was taking an entrepreneurship class in college, and I was able to build a mobile app as a class project, which then sold to my biggest competitor in Turkey. And I remember the biggest challenge was to, how to make users sticky. Like, okay, I'm able to acquire users less than 25 cents, which was insane back in the time. And, you can imagine it's very profitable for investors to, like, it's very exciting for investors to see, oh, there are users from all over the world for this particular app, which was, built in Istanbul, Turkey. So I think that's, that that's how I kind of understand, okay, users are leaving the app at some point, and I just need to solve this problem called retention. And I think that's how I also like started my first job at a app store optimization company. Just wanted to understand how big publishers always, I was an indie developer back in the time, but I just wanted to understand the mindset of big publishers on how do they acquire users, one, two, how they actually retain those users, what are the channels that they acquire users from, and just build product experiences to retain those users. So that's, I think, how I kind of learned the world of retention, and just my career has evolved into retention marketing naturally.
Well, that's interesting, John, because I don't know if you saw it. Well, yes, you actually did. You shared it with me. You shared it with me. That's where I saw it, because I saw that Mao is renamed as the Mobile Acquisition and Retention Show. So I guess you're ready for it, aren't you, Miray?
Oh, I am ready.
Feel like you're a little ahead of your time. No, but it totally makes sense, because you've got a betting app and you're saying to yourself, they're betting on the Super Bowl, but I want to retain them when this is all over. So I get it.
So this is really interesting because I was going to say you remind me of Rory Sutherland. He's a VP at Ogilvy in the UK. He's an advertising legend. Peggy and I interviewed him before. And there's the one thing that I was going to say that you remind me of him, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. But there's another thing, Peggy, that we have to say. I mean, remember we call guests push play guests. So we have a thing, Miray. There's a thing in the podcasting world, at least for Peggy and I, that we call push play guests. And it's the kind that they don't give one word answers. They're not boring.
They're deep.
They're deep. They understand their space and they're willing to talk about it. I'm getting the sense that Miray is a push play guest, which is wonderful, because Peggy and I can just take a break, relax, have a vacation, whatever, chill, drink some wine, some beer, whatever. And there you go. But I actually get to my question. So what I was actually going to say, Rory Sutherland, he's a marketer, he's an advertiser, but he also wanted to start at the bottom of the funnel, not the top of the funnel, because he saw that that was most important. Why do you start there?
That's an amazing question. I think that's an amazing way of defining bottom of funnel users. And I like this metaphor to call them as a cherry on the top. You just have the perfect dessert. And when you have cherry on the top, it's unbelievable, out of this world. So bottom of funnel users are actually the proof of business case that engineers and product managers work so long hours to build those features, and they're using it. They are also a product market fit, right? They are the one who has adopted most of the product features. they're loyal. So all you can do is just to learn more from them. So you can do like a lot of things by just analyzing the bottom of funnel. Like you can create different data science models to target right users. So you spend, your dollars more effectively and acquire the right users, and so your user bucket, like your UA funnel, is less leaky, which is a dream for any mobile marketer, right? And other most important things you can do, you can try to create viral growth with that particular bottom funnel users by just understanding their attributes, like can they compete, can they share, invite their friends, can they collaborate. So how I can create that particular network effect so that they can bring more users in. And again, like going back to the learning, like how can I also embed some of those features that they like into the product experience itself, right? Like, so an example could be like Dropbox has its own like built-in feature called folder sharing, right? It's already like in there, it's already bringing more users in, and it can spread on his own. So it's just amazing. And another, I think, example can be one of my favorite application called Resi. I'm a big foodie, and every time I make reservation on Resi, I can just seamlessly invite my guests to see the restaurant, see the appointment time. So it's just a very like easy built-in feature. It's naturally bringing more bottom funnel users into the app, and it's creating viral growth. It is basically making us to efficiently also target users, spend less, and just continue to stay ROI positive. So I think that's why it's really important to like understand and learn more from the bottom of funnel users. And that's how my mindset is. Every time I join a new company or a new organization, first thing I do in my first 30 days is just to take a look at the product events and attributes to understand what users are actually using more. So yeah,
And how to hook them, Miray. Isn't that part of it? I mean, it's all about that hook. And we've had guests, John, who talk about, the product, the mechanics, getting people in through that. And you talked about a network effect. And I want to get to that because that's what you've got here, which is also really interesting. You have the sports betting app, but you have to figure out, again, what to do between the great events, what between Super Bowl and the next tournament, or what happens for March Madness around the corner, right? And that's where you have your sports fantasy apps coming in. How does that work together? I mean, what does a retention focus mean when you have these two apps and pulling them together as well?
Mm-hmm. Sure, Peggy. I think it's an amazing question. So it is again like going back to the product attributes and events. Like you can see a particular group of users who are engaging with certain features and certain sports, and you have again like I think we are very fortunate enough to see their attributes, like meaning their location, their interest across some non-sports events, which we also have that free-to-play app where users can just pop into the app and answer some pop culture questions about who may be the winner for particular NASCAR events or any sort of leagues across the year. So that's actually like a 360 approach that we are trying to look. But if you have a really strong cross-sell strategy between different products, different portfolio of products that you have, you are also naturally being an ambassador of that particular product, like bringing, you can create experiences like, oh, you have actually bet on Super Bowl and you have started a couple sessions and learn more about teams, and you created your own team in the daily fantasy world. And here's the top 3 things that you can do. Here's the articles about what's coming next, just to keep the excitement going and again like nurture them accordingly. But cross sell is definitely a key element to really keep the momentum going on. and also creating some sort of like FOMO, fear of missing effect. So
Hmm.
they stay and they learn, because we are not just like saying come back, we miss you, but we are providing a value, we're providing an educational like landscape for them now during off season. So yeah, there are, I think, a couple of ways that we're testing and learning each day, but it's learning and and yeah, so
Cool. Hey, that reminds me a little bit of a game that I play where if I come in every day, I get a reward. If I don't come in that day, I miss out on that reward. So, that's kind of a, retention focus strategy there. You mentioned that really cool feature in Resi, which, in retrospect, I guess genius is obvious, right? If you look back at it, somebody else really smart did something and it looks obvious. Well, why not invite the people right in there and they can see at the restaurant, they can see what the menu is, they can see, is there a kosher item on the menu or whatever they need to see. But I had never thought of that before. A reservation app, and you just invite the people that you're meeting there and they can see that, and maybe it gets on their calendar. Have you done anything like that? Have you taken any inspiration from something like that into your betting apps?
yeah, I think I should say this. I am I'm a little stalker, stalking a lot of competitor applications. I think it's anyone in our industry, right? When you are a retention slash growth focused marketer, you always like, when you download an app, you just naturally like understand like, okay, here's the flow that they apply. And I'm actually in my first sign up screen, that was a seamless experience, so how can I actually build a similar experience? So you always have that particular mindset. And I think one thing I like to experiment within the organization was to, again, going back to the viral growth, how can we invite, how can our users, our loyal users, can bring more friends in? And I think there was this, I think it's very, very basic concept of sharing and inviting your friends. But as a result of completing a first contest entry, let's say, users are now prompted to a screen where it says, now you made your predictions. You basically chose your
Mm.
favorite teams, your like who's going to win what and who's going to be the winner. And just why don't you share with your friends and just compete with them, compete
Mhm.
against them. And we just build that particular feature in, and right after users complete their contest entries, they see like a full screen interstitial with some football influencers in it, and a great copy and creative blended in it, and users are naturally sharing with their friends. So I think that's something I wanted to apply, seeing how bringing more friends in can turn into a real life example. But I'm also seeing a lot of great experiences across different apps. And again, being a retention focused marketer, I like seeing how other marketers are sending me the right push notification at right time. Um, it's amazing. I love how Uber Eats app is getting super like creating more automated experiences for me. So I think the app knows what type of food that I'm ordering each day. So it's just particularly letting me know that there are great restaurants that have Mexican cuisine. Obviously, like over the weekend, I have a different behaviors that I am doing. And again, Uber Eats sending me like a really like um particular offers that
Mhm. Mhm.
that they know I'm a happy hour person over the
Yep.
weekend, and I like to go
We
and
all are, Miray.
yeah, right.
The new
So have a
segmentation here.
yeah, so yeah,
Okay.
just like just
Mhm.
understanding like what type of basically experiences and automations that they create. If I'm about to churn, am I getting like a really great discount code, or am I just getting like a casual discount codes, which is nothing but more like just a one time one
Mhm.
stop shopping. So yeah,
Mhm.
just in general trying to understand the different type of um I guess like life cycle tactics that they're using, and channels that they're automating, and experiences that they're creating with just in-app push and email. So I'm all in that, and I'm all about like, just keeping a bookmarks of thing and creating a library with my coworkers to just review like what can we do in our like 101s and just like casual meetings to inspire from others. Because if obviously like it doesn't mean that it's going to work for our vertical, but you never know until you test it. So testing is really easy thing, and it's just I guess if you can test it, then you can say, okay, this doesn't work for us, and or it works for us. So I'm all into learning from others and inspire like keeping myself inspired by other players in our industry to see like what they're doing great.
That makes a ton of sense. And she told us she was a foodie, Peggy, and two of the apps that she's given examples from, just shockingly, surprisingly, are from food apps. So apparently somebody likes food here. I'll tell you the feature I would like. I would like the ability to like, okay, here's my circle of friends, maybe my influencers. I want to kick off a video session or live video session in the app before I make my selection. Who do you think? Should it be this? Should it be that team? How much do they, what's the difference? What's the spread going to be? All that stuff. And then I'd make my selections. But hey, I'm just giving that one out for free. If you make, $1 billion with that, just remember me.
Okay, John.
I was gonna say, giving away some free advice here. She's gonna do it because she's watching all the apps.
See, that's why I called you guys as a mobile heroes at the beginning, because you guys have an amazing knowledge, and I'm sure we have a lot to learn from you by just being part of this great experience itself.
When you hear a lot of smart stuff from smart people, occasionally you remember just a little bit of it. So.
But you're smart, Miray, and that's why you're here as well. You're a retention first growth marketer. You were talking about yourself. How important is the experience? If we read between the lines of what you've been telling us, it's about stickiness, it's about experience, about segmentation, to know your valuable users, the ones who are deep in the funnel, keep them coming back, let them get their friends in, all of that. That's sort of like the practical side, the tactical side. I want to understand the growth stack side of this. I mean, what are the tools in the mobile retention stack? Lift the lid and tell us.
See, this is also pretty new, Peggy. I don't think any of us called as mobile retention stack ever. So
the first tier, John. They're always first tier.
Get the NFT.
That's it. It's coming.
It's coming, yeah. So I think like in a nutshell, mobile retention stack can as easy as your built-in tools like your CRM tools or your developer tools if you're an indie developer, and if you're not able to manage big contracts with those amazing vendors over there like Lean Plum, CleverTap, Braze, then there is this thing called Firebase where you can still
never heard of that. Does that exist? Who makes that?
Yeah,
some unknown company.
No.
I'm joking.
You're cracking her up, John.
I know. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, it is a joke. I swear.
Firebase, yeah. Firebase has also, a
lot
really
of tools
great
there.
Yeah, a lot of tools, a lot of like, low hanging fruit for us to really like collect. And I will say, yeah, like if you have a great like CRM tool, that's amazing. But there are also other, like free tools out there. So let's say like CRM tools, and also like the second thing that you need is a great like data pipeline, meaning that a great, I think very well organized data data systems in place, so you can just connect the two of them and just get insights daily. So I would say just two things, like your own data and the CRM tool of your choice. So that's what I call my mobile growth. Yeah, sorry, mobile retention stack. And I should also mention our MMP because it also helps me to create a deep link. So yeah, let's say, well, one deep linking tool, one CRM tool, and your own data systems, like being able to manipulate your data systems and just being able to create some dashboards out of that. That's all you need. It's easy as that. You don't need like a lot of other like growth
It's
tools in there.
It's good to hear that. It's good to hear that because if I ever look at the mobile growth stack, and I look at that occasionally, then I look and there's like literally like 50 different slots there. And I'm going like, are you kidding me? Are you unbelievably kidding me? There is no way I can have a tool to fill each one of those boxes and have enough people to even manage those, take a look at those, keep those updated, keep them integrated, all that other stuff like that. So I do need a fairly simplified stack. So that's a pretty small retention stack right now, Peggy, but we might add to that. We'll see.
Oh yeah,
We'll make that. That's a project right there. So
it's
we're
growing.
coming to the end here. We got to let you go. You've got bets to place. You've got, apps to work
I
on. You've got
can,
users.
John.
Oh,
Food to order. Okay.
well, okay.
Oh,
But
okay.
then at least you get paid, a couple $1 million a year if you can't bet, right? So, it's all good. No worries. It all comes out in the wash. Just joking on that, of course. But here is where we typically end. We always ask our mobile heroes for their top 3 tips. So we're going to ask you your top 3 tips for mobile marketers in, let's say, the sports and betting verticals heading into 2022. What are your top 3 tips for mobile marketers?
Sure, John. I think it's really like basic that if I should say, be your own mini data scientist. So really just leverage your data, understand user attributes very well, and just create data models based off of the systems in place. So if you have a big BI/data science team, that's amazing. But if you don't have it, just create your own like be your own data scientist and create your own data science models and just try to focus on incremental impact. And number 2, I think it's something I've seen over the years is never changed on my end across social, utility, business, apps that I've worked, and now in sports betting. Focus on quality over quantity. So like really, are you getting the all juice of your mobile retention stack? Are you really leveraging the power of emails, push, personalization? Like, are you testing your middle banner, top banner? Like, are you using rich notifications, like sounds, like rich images, GIFs, like videos? So really like get all the juice of your life cycle slash retention stack. And number 3, I think continue to improve any sort of user flow. So it can be your onboarding flow, it can be your, I don't know, like your checkout flow, your for us, like your wagering flow, your deposit flow, and just understand what else you can make to improve that particular user flows. As CPIs are getting expensive, they're not going to get cheap anymore anytime soon. So just improve your existing user flow. So those are all going to be my top 3 tips.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That was excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that,
Oh,
John.
you're
Make
welcome.
more with what you. Oh, I'm sorry, Miray.
Oh no, I was just saying, oh,
Okay.
you're welcome.
I was gonna say it's do more with what you have. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
make
Mhm.
more out of your tools in your toolbox, email, all that stuff. Look at the flow. Go with the flow. Did I say that, John? But
Oh,
Oh, I love
wow.
it.
Oh, wow. Is it late where
I
you
knew
are,
we'd hate
Peggy?
it. I knew we'd hate it.
Yes, it is.
Too late here for
What I
me.
also like what I also like in what Miray said was, hey, quality over quantity, because there is so
Mm,
much you can do. There's so much you can focus on.
yes.
I think that sometimes what people get lost in is, I can do this, this, this. There's literally 1,000 things you could do at any given time. And if you don't focus, you will get absolutely zero of them done. Hey, pick one. You know, it may not even be the most important one. Ideally it is, but may do something, right? This has been wonderful, Miray. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure. So thank you for your time.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. Thank you for hosting me, John, and I hope to see you guys in LA so I can show you the
Again soon, I
amazing
hope.
side
Yes.
of the city.
Now that's a thought. I'll go with that. And in addition of a beautiful place here, of course, some great, beautiful insights. I want to thank you, Miray. Really, it's been exciting. You know, our first time, John, our first retention first growth marketer.
Yes.
I think we've got a trend here. There's something going on.
Let's continue to build retention stack.
Yay, team. No, I'm just kidding.
Excellent.
Thanks so much.
Excellent.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you again. As Peggy usually says, but I'll say it, we love shining
Oh,
a light on mobile marketers with superpowers like Miray. So if you have a superpower, you know, or even just, you know, kind of a really good power, you know, let us know. Ping us, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever. And we will, as Peggy likes to say, get the party started. It is like 9 p.m. her time in Germany on Friday night. And guess what? It is time to start the party. So we got to run. Thank you again, Miray. Have a wonderful weekend and hope that your team wins.
I hope so. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, John.